what's the biggest, most consistent hit song this year with longevity and impact? I don't think it's debatable. If you still haven't figured it out by now, I think there's a problem, because it's clearly Davido's With You featuring Omale. I think that's emphatically the biggest song this year. Yeah, 2025. I think it's been an amazing year for Nigerian music. Elvis, what do you think? No, I think it's good. I think it's been a good year compared to last year. I would say in terms of volume of hits, I think we've seen more hit songs this year, and also in terms of breakout stars, I think the volume of breakout stars is a direct indicator of how good the year has been for music industry. And this year we have seen like a ton of new stars, breaking to the limelight and mainstream. So I think that's really great. So I'll start with the songs. Compared to last year, how I've referred in terms of hit songs. Have we seen enough volume of hit songs this year? I would say absolutely yes. Off the top of my head, I could, maybe not off the top of my head because I have some written down here, but I could really say, like 10? If I'll give you like the top 10, say With You, Joy Is Coming, Lao, Ejago, My Darling by Chella, Arike by Kumi, there's Escaladizi, there's No Turning Back, gospel music back in the mainstream, popping, it used to be like that back in the day when we were growing up. Remember Midnight Crew, Igwe, just like proper mainstream hit song, Infinity, Olorioko, Kefi, it's just, but since streaming came, they just took a back seat. They no longer, gospel stars are no longer as big as they used to be. Who remember Resonance? Is that a Resonance? Chiweke, yeah? Bro, that used to be cool then. Used to be cool, but man, shout out to them, yeah? So there's No Turning Back, there's Rema's Fun, there's Famous Pluto's Ewo, there's Adekunle Gold's Many People, there's Arasta's Odd Body, there's Udmodu Black, If You Like Jim. So yeah, a lot of great hit songs this year. So who's the number one song? Which song is the number one song this year? I think the answer is clear. I think it's not debatable. I think it would be mischievous to debate the number one song this year. Yeah, I think even if we look at streaming platforms and we reconcile with what's obtainable in the street, what people sing when you're outside, what you see on social media, people gravitate towards. What's the biggest, most consistent hit song this year with longevity and impact? I don't think it's debatable. And if you still haven't figured it out by now, I think there's a problem, because it's clearly Davido's With You featuring Omale. I think that's emphatically the biggest song this year. Every time I see you shaking your head, I don't know. Who's your fighter? I think the only one close is Lao. I think Lao is the closest to With You. I think With You is the biggest song this year. I think it did massively for Davido, even if it didn't have the global mileage of your average Afrobeat big song. Every year you see like some Afrobeat songs blow up and they get like huge global mileage. They're big in Nigeria, they're big globally. Not some are big globally and they're not as big as that in Nigeria. But With You was a huge Nigerian hit song, and I will also see a continental hit song, like in terms of like having impact within the African space across all demographic. I think the last time I saw a song like that have palpable impact within the African space would I see Buga Kiss Daniel. I think it's similar to that kind of song, like they have like similar standing. And I also like the story of the song. I'm not saying about the contextual meaning now, like the story of how the song blew up. Like not like the story, but for me it's one of those songs where I don't think they're banking on the song a lot. Even Bades himself said the song was almost not going to make the album, and they just decided to let's just put it, and it was reflective of the part that it was on the last song on the album, just probably dumped there, just like, okay, let's just leave it there. And listeners went and said, okay, that's the one we want. Reminds me of Ashake's Lonely at the Top. He dropped the album Walk of Art, and he was pushing Mogbe, and he was pushing Basquiat. I mean, really, really great songs, really amazing album. And listeners were like, okay, that's cool, we feel you, we see you, but when you're ready, you come and join us at Lonely at the Top. That's the song we fuck with. And this is that type of song. It was chosen by the listeners themselves. They loved the song and it blew up. It was I mean, of course the marketing will do what it needs to do, put it in people's faces, but it was really organic to a large extent. I mean, there's no such a thing like there's no hit song that's not organic. You could propel it, you could engineer it, but that acceptance, that love, that propels you to stardom at a massive scale has to come organically. You cannot engineer it consistently. You can only put it in the right places, in the right faces. So it's one of the it's a big song, and I think it's the song of the year. It's a massive song. Shout out to everybody who delivered 8 songs this year. TikTok played its role again massively. It reminded us that it's almost impossible, and I think it is not even almost impossible. It is impossible for you to get a big song in this current era without catering to TikTok. No TikTok, no big song for you. So all the songs are massive this year. It's TikTok played a fundamental role in propelling them to stardom. With You, Lao, Ejago, My Darling, Arike. My Darling was among the top 20 most popular or top 20 biggest songs on TikTok this year globally. So shout out to Chella for that. Massive. The biggest rap song this year, if you like Dream by Modo Black. Shout out to Modo Black. Ira Star holding down for the ladies, Odd Body, the superstar, bringing the sexiness, the pop star sexiness. She's always bringing it. So yeah, she's holding it down. And adequately good many people, came in with a late screamer. I think was that like October, November, and just ran away with it. So yeah, big songs this year. But number one song, clearly, undisputably, With You featuring Davido featuring Omale, produced by Tempo. So shout out to everybody involved on that amazing record. So we move to album of the year, or albums generally. I think this year we also had good albums. Yeah, for me, the albums I enjoy this year, even there was a lot of volume and it was difficult to keep up at some point. I think everyone waited a bit to see how the year will play out before they start dropping projects. And during the last quarter, we saw like a plethora of releases. It was almost overwhelming. And yeah, but overall, across all genres, we had great releases. If I'm going to pick some of the biggest albums this year, say like the top 10, definitely. I mean, if we're going to go from last, like albums that had impact this year, now the albums that had impact this year were released last year. Same thing with Joy Is Coming. Joy Is Coming, like a song released in December, was like crossover and like had a really massive year. Number one song actually this year, according to Turntable Chart. So I would say Murayo, of course, Wizkid's Murayo. It had a huge year. Streaming wise, digitally, it's the most streamed album on Spotify, on Apple Music. So that a massive year. But streetwise, I would say the impact, I really cannot say the impact was felt streetwise. Digitally, yes, but streetwise, in terms of how the songs resonated, how massive they were on the street, even in terms of usage on social media, in terms of virality, in terms of like in terms of acceptance, general acceptance, I don't think it was that huge an album, even if it had a lot of massive numbers. And I think possibly because even Wizkid himself kind of moved past the album very fast. This year, it didn't service the album at all. Hardly released any video or whatever, just went straight to a collaborative run. I mean, definitely massive year for him as well with the run of features. But the album wise, yeah, big numbers, but impact, I just don't like the impact just doesn't correspond with the numbers he had. Numbers on the streaming platforms, numbers on digital end, but streetwise, not as a massive impact as you would like it to have. Yeah, so definitely Murayo. There's Davido's 5, which did really well as well, numbers wise, and I mean it had the biggest song of the year, With You. So yeah, that was massive. There's Fola's Courtesies, there's Bessin's Captain, there's Odumodu Black's The Machine Is Coming, which I think is one of the most slept on album this year, because it's kind of, with that album, we're focusing on what is coming. It was like preparing us for the arrival of the industry machine, and we're not paying enough attention to how good that album was. That album is sublime. Like, it has a lot of great songs. I think if you compare it to the industry machine, the industry machine is really great, but I think The Machine Is Coming is just more of a tighter album. It's a bit shorter. The songs like serve more definitive purposes than the industry machine. So yeah, The Machine Is Coming. Fuji as well, adequately good, which I think is the album of the year. I think will be tied for me. It's a close tie between Fuji and Ila's Chapo by Wizzy Chan. I mean, I love that's one of my favorite albums, deep, really contextual, something that goes beyond the mainstream and caters to real life subjects and just showcases the rich musicality of the South. I think that's a really huge album as well, especially critically and quality wise. Then Adekunle Gold combined both, mainstream appeal quality and delivered Fuji. Also a huge moment for him in terms of the rollout, in terms of the impact the album had immediately it dropped. The debate is sparked in terms of, is it Fuji? Does it qualify to be called Fuji? Is it an appropriation? Is there enough Fuji songs in the album for him to have named it Fuji? So just combined together to give it like a really huge moment. And I don't think within all the debates, while the debate was raging on about, is this Fuji in its core essence? Fuji as we know it to be, and even its adoption of Fuji, its modern interpretation of Fuji, does it qualify enough to be Fuji? I think while this conversation was going on, no one could dispute the fact that it was a great album. No one could dispute the quality of the album. So I think it's really huge. So if I'm going to make a guess for which albums will be nominated album of the year, assuming there's going to be an award ceremony in Nigeria, because when last did we have one of those? Artiste came back this year, and I thought we were going to have another Artiste this year, but in December. But yeah, we've not heard anything about that. So yeah, shout out to Artiste, I guess. So yeah, I would say definitely Moriah. I mean, because it will be eligible. So Moriah, Artiste, captained by Benson, which did well. I was critical of the album because I expected. I feel like Benson's talent can expand beyond what he's used it to do so far. I think it's been one-dimensional and he's not stretched his artistry enough. And there's a bunch of the songs just felt very repetitive. But people loved the album. The album has done very well. It's one of the biggest albums this year, and I think it's done enough for it to be nominated for one of the album of the year, for the album of the year category. So Artiste, Captain, Moriah, Fuji, Ilas Chapo. I have to pick number 6. It's going to be between 5 and possibly I'll say AQ's God's Engineering Tree. Yeah, so yeah. So shout out everybody. I think great album, yeah. I think that it tired us out eventually. Next year I would like to see it more spread out. Next year, if there's something different I would like to see things more spread out. I don't want to close down releases. Although it's inevitable, people like to leave it late and try to like release their projects so they can ride the dirty December wave. But yeah, shout out everybody, great album, yeah. Enough to love, enough to enjoy. Even this is just talking albums, not even EPs. EP wise, they love great EPs as well. Shout out to Good Get Early, Famous Pluto, Vikoka. A lot I can't remember right now. Victoni, the recent EP, that EP is a monster. So yeah, I think it's really that. I don't know, Elvis. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about saying this has not been a good year. I think it's been a good year. So best artist this year. What's the number one artist this year? I think a lot of artists did great this year. Yeah, how they succeeded and the success in Nigeria and outside Nigeria, like globally and locally. I think a lot of artists stood out this year. They did very well. And again, I think the artist of the year is a bit clear. I think someone edges out the rest. I think a lot of people had a good year. Several people had a good year, but there's one person that had a better year than every other person. And again, I think the answer should be clear. I don't think this is debatable, or is it? I don't think so. I don't think it's debatable. I think it's clear. And of course, drum roll, come on. It's the baddest, it's the baddest. Baddest had the better year than every other person. He dropped a good album. He has the number one song, and he also went on tour. And yeah, I think he's had a great year. And yeah, for me, I think that's the artist of the year. Every venue sold out. Then the fact that he brought Nigeria into the tour, he went to the stadiums, sold out everywhere, and it just like really catered to the ecosystem and showed that okay, there's a market to be serviced here. We need to pay more attention to this market. So he applied himself, the way would want to start to apply himself, both locally and internationally, help give Afrobeat mileage globally, and also help build the ecosystem. So a massive shout out to Davido. I think that's the artist. That's the number one artist this year. Of course, there are other artists who are going to give him a run for his money. I would say definitely Wizkid. Wizkid's run of collaboration this year, I think it's helped him to garner enough streams, to accumulate enough streams to become the number one the most streamed artist on Spotify, the most streamed artist on audio mark on Apple Music and on Spotify. So I think you cannot ignore that fact. I think he's had a massive year, especially with the collaboration, the run of features, numbers wise, huge year for him. So definitely, if there's a conversation about the artist of the year, I think he's going to give Davido his run for his money. Fola, of course, massive year. Is like just set the pace, shape the ecosystem this year. So he's definitely in that conversation as well. Another artist, number 4 on the list, I would say Marvel. I mean, definitely he's had a big year as well. He just came with his whole lingua, the easy slangs, and he's just taking over the whole place. He's just getting cosign upon cosign, and it's been a huge year for him as well. So big shout out to Marvel. And number 5, number 5, I would say I'll put 3 artists together for number 5 for 3 artists. So it will be Rema, Artiste, and I would say Shodi. Yes. So yeah, Rema Artiste, huge year for like in terms of releases. Maybe they didn't have like the biggest hit songs this year, but Rema did have fun, and that was a big one. And globally and international wise, it's still Rema. He still went on tour. He had a couple of performances, like a couple of shows, concerts, which was really sold out. Artiste, she's flying the country's flag. She's a huge deal. She's one of our biggest pop stars right now, flying the African flag. She got the first Grammy nomination earlier in the year, so that was big. And yeah, she had a big year, and showed it because he's one of the stars that catered to the ecosystem this year locally. I think his flavor, he brought his flavor to street music, this vibe to it, and he started strong and ended strong. So I have to give it up to him. So big, massive shout out to Shodi. A lot of other people as well. Chella, Adekunle Gold. Odumodu Black, definitely. Odumodu Black had a big year as well. Went on tour, the 8 City University tour, and also had a couple of shows abroad. Currently on tour with Jerick, the Eastern Machine Tour. Yeah, Eastern Machine Tour. So yeah, shout out everybody, man. Big year for them. And yeah, best artist this year, number 1 artist for me, I'll say Davido. Best new artist. Now I think this is an indicator of the year we've had. I think we've had really good year, because we've had a lot of new artists compared to last year. I think the person who stands out, heads and shoulders above the rest, is Fola. Huge year for him. It just shows consistency, that if you keep knocking on the door, something the door is going to get open for you. Fola's been there for a long time. Ask people who went to Lasso. Like, he used to share his songs on WhatsApp. I mean, I didn't go to Lasso, but I spoke to them, and they gave me just like he put on his WhatsApp status, and also do like a BC and say, please support, please share. That really cringy stuff, that humiliation ritual you have to go through as an up-and-coming artist, and say, okay, please share my song, please listen to my song. I'm like, okay, fine, thank you. We'll see what we can do. He kept grinding. He's been writing for people. He's just been there within the system, writing for people, helping to write on albums, being in studios, helping people to make music, and just waiting for his time. And it happened. And it was ready for it. When someone is ready for it. When Ashaka came, Ashaka was ready for it. Shiva was ready for it. Charlie, Poppy, Odumodu Black, they were all ready for it. And Fola was definitely ready for it. And he's had a really, really huge year. And yeah, so definitely best new artist, number 1 in the pot, number 1 seeded star for Next Rated. So number 2, if you just like say maybe like the top 5 like breakout stars this year, I'll definitely put Shodi there. Shodi has been around for a while too. Definitely, even last year he had a moment. People know his name, and people like he's massive on TikTok, so who Shodi is. But this year was a like really decisive moment for him. Things really changed for him this year. The song Ejago, it just really helped him start the year very strongly. Then he had other great songs like Screaming Beauty and this song. So yeah, massive year for him as well. Same thing with the Ribena and co. They had good years, even though they've been around for a while. They had massive year too. Chella, massive year for Chella as well. Fido, it's supposed to be a massive year, but yeah, shout out to my nigga Fido. But yeah, I just feel like it could have been a much bigger year, but the EP didn't do well. It was not the best EP. Yeah, it was not the best EP. A lot just happening. And when we did the interview, when he came in and we did the interview, I was like, what's up with you, bro? Like, you had a moment, like things were going really well, and it felt like you just like deliberately pressing cancel, because I don't get it. And I get that he's a very confident guy. Yeah, he's a very confident guy. He has he's very yeah, I don't say too confident, but he's very confident. And with confidence come, like, you could be seen as affront, to confrontational, this and that. But I get it, like, he feel like he's being cheated, he doesn't want to be cheated, and he had a big moment with Joyce coming, and definitely the second act to that, the follow-up to that would always be very challenging. To follow up on that kind of song is not going to be easy. So I don't think he was able to follow up on that very well. The EP didn't produce the moment it's supposed to produce. He himself didn't do himself much favors, with the whole behavior online, and just like he just comes across like a very weird guy, just really weird, and he gives off like maybe it's problematic, even though he might not be. He just gives off like he's a problematic guy, and people just moved on very fast because a lot was happening this year and no one had the time to be dwelling on somebody. Is it that you give them music and keep everyone's attention on you, or everyone just moves on? So shout out Davido. I think he had a breakout star as well. I've mentioned Chela, there's Kumi Arike, there's Famous Pluto, shout out Famous Pluto. There's Zay Leviton, there's Juno, there's Marvel, of course. I mean, definitely, it's been his year. There's Champs. Shout out Champs. I won't say more than that. Yeah, he's from what I've heard, from the music he's dropped, I think he's amazing. I think he has crystal clear talent. And this is part I like to sing a lot. And checking my phone is ringing and his momsy calling me. So that's what he did. That's what he did. The British accent there. His momsy calling me. I was like, yeah, that's the shit. So that guy, watch out for him. They just leave it. Watch out for him. So so big year for new artists. I think good year. So definitely Fola, Marvel, Chela, Fido. Yes, you cannot ignore the impact of Joyce coming. So next rated, I think so. Fola, Chela, Marvel, Fido, Shodi. I think so. Definitely. So for me, my favorite moment this year, right? There are two. Number one would be Luna's Store. I think it's a really huge deal in Nigerian music that Luna would go on a tour to 25 states and perform in 26. I think 26 places, 26, more than 26 even, but I think 25 states. I think it's amazing. I think it's really, really amazing. It's special. In a country where touring is just struggling, people are not going to different states to perform. They just favor a few states, Enugu, Ibadan, Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, and that's it. That's a wrap. But this man, Luna, this artist, this star, went to 25 states. 25 states, come rain, come shine. People were showing up. It was raining. People were there. I think it was in Lokoja. It was raining. People were there, vibing with him. They're making it work. So it's a really, really huge deal. It shows that there's something in Nigerian music if we invest enough in it. It shows that there's something in Nigerian music that if we invest enough in it, if there's willingness, and if there's the backing of private equity, the touring circuit in Nigeria can really, really grow. So shout out to Luna, shout out to Mide, shout out to Dafe, shout out to Ludanias, shout out to everybody involved. It's a really huge deal. They really did well. Shout out to Lami, it's a huge deal. Shout out to them, big shout out to them. So my second favorite moment this year would be Skills's commercial resurgence. And because it's just unexpected, you didn't see it coming, and it's just really beautiful. And it's the story of music, it's the beauty of it all, because just make that beautiful song, and you don't know what it can become in 10 years, in 5 years, 10 years after I release Shake Body, which is a very, very amazing dance song. That song has catered to Nigerian dance floor for years. It has catered to Nigerian dance floor for years. And 10 years later, a footballer by the name of Lamine Yamal, who was interestingly, I think, 8 years old when that song dropped, decided to do a TikTok dance to that song, and the rest, as they say, is history. The song blew up, changed Skills' life. Skills was in Barcelona, chilling with the Barcelona footballers, was going to show all around Europe. We talked about it when I was at his place, and he was telling me about the moments. You could feel how excited he is, how grateful he is, and how deserving he is of that moment. For someone who's grinded consistently in Nigerian music for over 10 years, 15 years even, it's a moment that is well deserved. And it just shows that with consistency, if you just stay there, hang in there, keep releasing good music, your time too can really come. And it also shows the power of TikTok. It's really global right now. It's globalization. One song can just become a global sound, and it's going to change everything for you. So that's my favorite moment this year. So next week we're going to talk about the biggest takeaways from this year. I think there's a lot of lessons. There's a lot for everyone to learn, from the artists to the media to the executives. There's a lot of takeaways for us. And next year Yeah, next week we're going to get into that. Yeah, and that's facts only.